Okay, guys, listen, I'm not trying to sit here and complain, and I'm not just here to rip on Bungie either, but can we have an honest, quick discussion about Crucible here? And I do mean quick. This is going to be a brief video, and I'm going to do a longer one about this soon. By the way, the gameplay you're seeing in the background is just some random momentum control gameplay I got a couple weeks ago, and it's late and I'm tired, so I apologize if I just ramble a bit. I just got done from playing a bunch of Crucible, and I'm not happy because holy hell, PvP really needs some help. I mean, really needs some help. Now, I love Crucible. I really do. I spend just as much time playing Crucible as I do everything else in Destiny. But it just feels like so much of a slog so much of the time. Like occasionally we get a new sandbox and I'm like, hey, this feels good. This is pretty fun. This is something new. But now it's not one of those times. I think I really hit my final straw about 2 weekends ago during trials. At first, I actually really liked zone capture trials. For the first few hours on Friday, it was fun. I liked how the capture zone changed the dynamic and people were just constantly pushing on the objectives, and it led to some seriously intense gunfights. But then, boom, out came the bubbles and the wells of radiance. Like, okay, enhanced dusk fields, double invis, and overshield barricades, all that's annoying. But my god, zone capture trials with well and bubble, damn, Bungie, you might as well just start handing out free rounds over here. Like, it left such a bad taste in my mouth that last weekend I skipped trials entirely. Granted, part of that was because I was trying to grind out a good palindrome, but for some perspective, the weekend before Zone Capture Trials, I did 3 cards solo and I played Trials for 17 hours straight. And for most of it, I had a pretty good time. But Zone Capture Trials, my god, unless they do something about bubbles and well and do something in PvP to make it easier to counter, I'm not going to touch it again. But it's more than just that. To start, there's just so many balancing issues. And I don't think, and granted, I don't think that Destiny can ever be a truly balanced game in PvP. There's just too much going on in Destiny. But even without things like well and bubble on capture points in trials and now in comp, the constant spam of renewal grasp dusk fields and overshield barricades and double invis and all this other crap, I seem to remember not too long ago that Bungie said they wanted less of a focus on the space magic and more of a focus on gunplay in PvP. And hey, they succeeded. If by succeeded we mean nothing but fusion rifle spam, Lemonarch hot swapping, and shotgun apes every round, and I mean they removed quick draw from Fellwinter and other aggressive frames, and not only did it not make a damn bit of difference trying to deter shotgun apes. It made shutting down shotgun apes harder because when they push, now I can't whip out Fellwinters. I have to pull out a Reese Walker or Reckless Endangerment and just pray that it kills them in one blast. So if by more emphasis on gunplay they meant nothing by special weapon spam, then sure, I should say, I guess, energy weapon spam too, because I'm including Lemon Arc in there. Then I mean, yeah, they succeeded. I mean, personally, I would have expected by an emphasis on gunplay, they wanted skill in primary gunfights emphasized, right? But I guess I was wrong because, my god, why even have primaries at this point? Not to mention that as far as loot goes, there isn't a reason to play PvP. And yes, I am including trials in that. Like, there isn't a single trials weapon currently that can't be matched by other weapons that drop in other activities. And yes, I'm even including like Messenger and Shayura's Wrath in there. Why would I spend hours grinding trials when I could just hammer out some red frames of peace and mind and craft a god roll? Or grind trials for Shayura when we have Funnel Web, which is just, I've had it drop in so many different activities that are so much less of a grind and so much less painful to play than trials. Oh my god. And that's not even getting into just the normal Crucible loot. I mean, why does Inverted Crisis even exist? And I'm using that because I've only had it drop in Crucible, so I'm assuming it's a Crucible weapon. But why even have it when it's outpaced by so many other weapons? You can get other hand cannons with better base stats and better perk rolls like Palindrome, Cantata, Ace of Spades, Thorn. Hell, I'd take my God roll Waking Vigil over Crisis Inverted. Seriously, it's a garbage weapon. It's like every season they drop one or two new weapons in Crucible, and every time they're just kind of disappointing. Except maybe for Frozen Orbit, I've mostly had it drop in Crucible, but I'm not sure if it's actually a Crucible drop. I think I may have had it drop in another activity, but I can't remember for sure. Now, listen, taking a deep breath here because I'm starting to get mad. It's not that I don't think Bungie isn't trying, because I do genuinely think that they are. And like I said before, I don't think Destiny can ever be a truly balanced game in PvP, because Destiny has one hell of an arsenal. And I'm trying my damnedest to stay positive over here. But between the massive lack of balance, the lack of good PvP loot in Crucible, and in Trials for that matter, because the new weapon, the Scout, is not what I'd consider to be a good PvP weapon, which is kind of pathetic because Trials is a PvP mode. It's just really getting difficult to jump into PvP every day, especially as someone who is just an average to above average player, depending on the day. Like, I don't claim to be someone crazy, like I Frostbolt or whatever. I'm just, an average to above average player. So, listen, I'm going to just stop it here because I know I've been rambling. It's just, man, PvP has been rough the last few days, and it's really hard to stay positive about it. So, Bungie, please, I know the emphasis on Destiny is on PvE. But if there's just going to be minimal effort put into Crucible, then why even have it? Please, please show Crucible some love. Please, I'm begging you. I do love Crucible because Destiny's gunplay and movement is just pristine. It's some of the best of any first-person shooter. But Crucible needs some love. We need some major balancing reworks. And for that matter, we really need some good PvP-focused loot inside of PvP. But anyway, guys, I'm going to stop it here because I know I've been rambling. Did my best to keep it quick. Hopefully it is. I actually don't know exactly how long I've been going on for. But if you guys agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. If you like the video, throw me a like, maybe a subscribe, and hit that bell icon. And again, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you want to see in Crucible. And yeah, it's late here, so I'm going to cut this off here. But have a good night, everyone.